All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music in real time for a few real people out there, just like you and just like me. All right, going to be talking about the new Bon Jovi song, and I'm going to be talking about his voice. And before I get into that, I just want to say this. Um, I wish I didn't have to talk about it like this, but this channel, I tend to be honest. I had a patron send me a message about this yesterday, and I wasn't out of the box. Bon Jovi has a song. I can't wait to, not be happy about the song. But before I get there, here is a band called City of Lights. I put this out there for fans of music that sounds kind of like Bon Jovi, a lot like Whitesnake, some other tendencies here as well. A really strong singer on this album and some really great melodic rock material. Sounds great in your stereo speakers. High quality sound, unlike what Neil Young is doing on Spotify. City of Lights, Before the Sun Sets. A really great message, too, in that album. So we're going to talk about the new Bon Jovi song. It's called Legendary. I've listened to it a couple of times, and I want to say this. First thing I noticed is the song sounds like another song, and it drove me crazy. I don't know about you, but sometimes music will play in my head all day. Like different songs will just pop in there, and I'm my own radio station, right? So, Dave, this explains a lot. You're hearing voices inside your head all day. No wonder you're into all these crazy conspiracy theories. Safe and effective, right? So, I just say that and people know. So, I'm listening to the chorus in this song, and it's very repetitive. And the gentleman who responded over on our Patreon channel, by the way, which you can join for $1 a month if you want to go over there, $5, whatever you can afford. He said to me, the new Bon Jovi song sounds like some recycled 90s tune, and his voice is still problematic. So, with that foreknowledge, I went and listened to the song a couple of times, and I mostly have to agree. Now, I would say that the song is trying very hard in this chorus, which happens throughout. It's kind of that whoa, oh, 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 oh kind of thing that happens in songs, and it just repeats itself throughout. It can be annoying, but it also can kind of be a way for you who have no idea what the lyrics are just to kind of have a singing part in the song. It's not a bad song, but it sounds like something else. So this stumped me for a while, and I'm like, I think this is something I have in my collection. So I went and looked around and thought about it some more. And the song itself ends up sounding a lot like something off of this album here by Casting Crowns. That's why I got the shirt on. I figured, the song is called Thrive. Okay, so if you go listen to Thrive, what you'll notice right away is that there's better instrumentation on the Casting Crowns song than there is on the Bon Jovi song. The Bon Jovi song sounds like Spotify. I'm going to use this Neil Young thing. It's very low res, as Neil complains about. And the Casting Crowns song is bright, and it just is effervescent, even has like little bubbles coming out of it, whereas the Bon Jovi is very like flat and cold and doesn't have the same audio characteristics. Now, so I'm not sure if they borrowed the chorus. I'm sure, look, they probably got in a room somewhere and didn't even know the song by Casting Crowns existed. And since I listen to a lot of Christian music, I hear this stuff, and like the other music I've listened to throughout my life, it kind of sticks in my brain. Took me a while, though, for that to get to the surface, but once it did, I'm like, this is very obvious. And you're going to have this happen more and more because, number one, these guys aren't listening to Christian radio. Number two, there are only so many combinations that you can use before you're going to have similarities between the two songs or two songs in general. Now, vocally, okay, I read this article and it said that Jon Bon Jovi had this vocal surgery, and his vocal cords are, I guess, better than they used to be. There was a certain amount of atrophy that had occurred, and that was causing some problems. And apparently it was John's wife who said, you know what? And this is a tough thing to do. You don't sound very good, even though you think you sound good. And that's the weird thing. Like last year, I would watch these videos where John's performing and the crowd is going nuts. So if I'm Jon Bon Jovi, I'm thinking, hey, I must be great. They love me. There's no problem. I mean, my voice, I think it's good enough, right? And so you get off stage and then your wife is there to tell you, sorry, honey, things aren't as good as you think they are. And so he had surgery, and it was, I guess, kind of an experimental or a new procedure from what I read. And I'm hoping it helps him. I'm not sure. Maybe he recorded this prior to the surgery. Because if it's post-surgery, folks, it seems like the same issues. Now, again, he's aged. His voice has changed. It seems to be in a lower place, and I've seen it go both ways. I've seen guys that get very high and thin, and then I hear other guys that get deeper. Your vocal cords over time, I think, tend to get deeper. So your singing voice, maybe you have to go higher in order to go where you used to go. I'm not sure. I'm not a professional singer. I do know a few of them, though, and they tend to chime in and tell me stuff after the fact because I can't call them during the videos and say, hey, maybe I'll try to call Jeff Scott Soto at some point. He can explain all this to the audience because he's got a great voice, and I think he would have some interesting things to say about what's happening to Jon Bon Jovi. But as far as the song goes, right, it's an okay song. It kind of sounds like a song from this album here. It's called Thrive. You can go listen to it. And that was just hard for me to figure out for an hour or so, and then just finally popped in my head. Look, maybe the surgery will at least enable John to go out there and sing full strength, even if he's not quite the same guy vocally. I guess the positive thing about the new track Legendary is it's upbeat. It kind of sounds like Bon Jovi or something Bon Jovi would record, but it's a little bit removed from their prime years, which again, I don't think that can be duplicated because number one, you still don't have Richie Sambora in the band. And number two, you're not writing anymore for people living in the 1980s, but all of those people are still with you, John. So I'm thinking they might appreciate something that sounds like a track from, say, Slippery When Wet, right? Because that's what we grew up listening to. And some of us are still here, you know, and some of us are paying attention. And then some of us have moved on and don't care. And quite honestly, I'm not trying to be mean here, but the message in this is better than the message in the new Bon Jovi song, although it's, again, not a bad song. In fact, the message in this, I would say, is pretty good too. But again, if you're gonna go side by side without me holding this upside down, which I just did, these videos, folks, it's not easy to do this. I would go with that. All right, as far as message. And again, thank you for watching these videos. Thank you for supporting the channel. I still need support via Patreon, YouTube memberships, and the new Buy Me a Coffee feature, which you don't have to keep buying me coffees. You can just do it one time. Say you're one of the 76,000 subscribers where I get 1,000 of you to watch on a daily basis. That's about all I can muster. But say one of you says, you know what, I'll pitch the guy $5 and I won't do it again. I like the stuff. Imagine if all 76,000 people did the $5. That'd be pretty good. I might be able to retire at that point. So look, if you want to get me off of YouTube, there you go. I'm not making promises though, because if it works once, who's to say it doesn't work a second time? I appreciate everybody who puts up with me here. I know I'm a piece of work, and I'm grateful that some of you have stuck with me all these years. God bless you all. Okay, it's your turn to thrive, right? That's the message on that. And Bon Jovi, we wish you well, brother. I hope you sound good on the road and that your voice holds up. There's a lot of Bon Jovi media out there right now. There's a new documentary. And of course, the classic rock world is abuzz because it's something to talk about. Will they play the new Bon Jovi song on classic rock or mainstream rock radio stations? Nope, it's not going to happen. That's what these people should be really upset about. I mean, these artists who are mad at Spotify or whatever, you should kind of focus your attention on radio, because radio really sucks right now, and it has for quite some time.